Hello, everyone. This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. How's everybody doing this Saturday morning? I hope you're doing well. Anyway, today's live stream is going to be about the E-list pictures that are coming out. You know, all this information that we're not going to get, that they're going to, make it's no big deal. But we're going to talk about a few of these people that are seen in pictures with this guy who's probably sitting on an island somewhere drinking strawberry laughing at all of us with his still bad habits he's doing. Anyway, I bet you that's what's going on. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about staying true to yourself. Stay in the course. Don't be pushed off course by the influences from the left or the right, okay? Stay true to your cause, your true being. That's what we're going to discuss too, because you can sit there and conform to a lot of people or situations, and I don't know, get more money or a little bit more clout because of it, but you lose yourself by doing it. So we're going to talk staying true to the course, staying true to yourself. So that's what we're going to discuss, because this content on my channel is not going to change. I'm going to kick against the pricks all day long. Anyway, that's what the subject's going to be today. Yeah, a little hot. Always a little hot, aren't I? But yesterday I didn't put out much content because I got to go work cows again. Got to go be a cowboy for 10 hours yesterday. It's amazing how fast time can go by when you enjoy your work. Here out in the elements, it's miserable. The cows don't want to cooperate, but you're having a blast, okay? Sun up to sun down. And I enjoy that type of work. Keeps the mind clear, okay? Keeps you straight and focused, okay? Working hard and dealing with good, honest people. But anyway, wait for a few people to show up. I see I got somebody here. Got to sit there and make sure the FBI and Google and all the data information centers can lock into my channel, so they have plenty of stuff to prosecute me when they sit there and try to actually take over our country the way they want to. So I'm going to make sure I'm giving them as much evidence to prove that I'm a patriot and totally against all tyrants as much as possible. So anyway, like I say, these are nothing but beta male pricks. I mean, they expect to put fear in me by the alpha little bitches that follow them. Any alpha male or female that follows or takes orders from a beta, you're worse than a beta bitch. So anyway, that's all I got to say to the FBI and all you other three-letter agencies. Anyway. Well, YouTube ain't going to release this, so we'll just sit there and go on. Probably the only people I got in here is the FBI right now. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Enjoying breaking the Constitution and violating my civil rights, constitutional rights? Don't worry, you're all going to pay for it one day. Anyway, let's talk about the E-list and the pictures that are coming out now. Okay? Freezing rain and snow today. Yeah, that's what we got here too, Mill Caller. It's everything's got a nice tint of fresh, you wouldn't call it snow, ice on it. So stay safe on the road there. Anyway, let's talk about these photos that are coming out of, people that are with Epstein. Now, let's say I associate with somebody that is less than honorable, right? Everybody's going to associate me, they're going to try to take me down to that level and say, well, if he's like that, you must be like that. Because let's admit it, if you're friends with somebody, I mean, you know the ins and outs of them, right? You may not agree with everything they're doing, but you know what they're doing, all right? You may not participate in it, but you still know what they're doing. But all these famous, Trump, Clinton, Bill Gates. I wonder if Bill Gates' wife left him and took the kids and basically made him so he couldn't ever see him again because of something, the list he might have been on or something, or the sick stuff he did with kids. I don't know. But all these people are, and that's just a few pictures. And the TV people say, well, this doesn't show them doing anything bad. Okay. All I got to know is all these, President Clinton knew what he was doing. Did he do anything about it? No, he allowed it to happen. The president knew some moronic bad guy was doing really bad things and didn't do a damn thing about it. No, just sent the government after people that are just trying to live a normal life, right? Donald Trump, boy, back when you were really young, you knew Epstein. Became president. And you sit there and say, well, I distanced myself because of his activity. See, you admitted you knew what he was doing. I mean, we had presidents that knew one of the biggest criminals in this country was operating and did nothing about it. And remember, Trump was talking about how Epstein would take his teenage beauticians out of his beauty parlor, whatever he had. I got one question, Trump. My daughter went to school to be a beautician, graduated, okay? Got all her licenses and stuff. But see, she had to finish school, high school to go to this. And then she had to, it was a lot of hours she had to put in. So you tell me how you had high school teenage girls as beauticians. Explain that to me. I'm so sick and tired of hearing this bullshit from these people. And people just constantly believe it. Like I say, they knew what was going on. If you know a crime, especially to that extent, is going on, and you actually become president, and you do nothing about it, and you can say, well, we were just friends. That was just pictures taken. Bullshit, buddy. Don't fly with me. Don't fly with me, not at all. Anyway, I knew YouTube wasn't going to push this video. I tell you what. You got these content creators that talk about, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do to help your channel grow. No, this is what you need to do to get your channel to grow the way they want them. You got to suck under and, just sell your soul to these people. But I'm going to kick against the pricks all day long. Like I say, you people in D.C. and whatever governing body you are, you can sit there and make a bunch of laws, put them down to paper all you want. You're still the ones that have to enforce it. And once the cops wake up and realize they're nothing but little bitches to beta males, maybe they'll change their tune too. Anyway, these cops serve and protect the American public. Bullshit. Nothing but here to harass us, enforce unconstitutional laws. But, when all of us normal people get upset, the cops, like I say, a cop can't take you on unless it's 16 against 1, and they all have guns and you ain't got shit. Then it's a fair fight to them. What are they going to do when you got your 16 cops, but you're surrounded by 10,000 pissed off vets with guns? I bet you join the other side, don't you? Hey, how's it going, CM 1841? Appreciate you being here. Anyway, but these excuses, I'm sick of it. These people were part of it. But they can sit there and say, we didn't know what he was doing. Like I say, you were best friends with him. Bullshit. You're taking photos with them and stuff at these parties that probably had underage kids there. But they weren't in the pictures. But you're hobnobbing together and stuff. Don't buy it for a second. Okay, Bill Clinton with a portrait painted of him with a red dress on, with high heels, sitting across the arms of a chair. You had to pose for that. Anyway, but let's not get into the details, right? All I'm sick of is, these are the people we got in charge of us. These are the sicko sons of bitches that commit crimes that the average person could never commit because we're not powerful or rich enough. These are the men the women we got in charge of us. Well, you may have, but like I say, these beta males still got to enforce it. Ain't ever going to happen. Anyway, have you seen you and Yes King's video? Have I seen you and Yes King's video? You sit there trying to be a smartass now? Yeah, I sound like somebody that loves tyrants. You want your king? Go to Britain. Go sit there and be homeless outside Buckingham Palace. The biggest welfare people on the goddamn planet is royalty. Anyway, 35 below zero. I can't wait. 35 below zero. I've seen 52 below zero. I've seen 35 below zero with fog. Okay, I'm from Minnesota, so hard weather. I may be here in Nebraska, but that's winter. We ain't getting winter here though. Ski resorts in Colorado are not happy. Anyway, but these are the people that are on the list, and we're never going to get the true information. They'll redact everything. There's nothing to hide. You just can't see nothing. And these people are just, well, yeah, we hung out with him, but we had no idea what he was doing. We'd have parties and stuff and talk to each other, but we had no idea what was going on. Bullshit. Who believes that? You hang out with somebody, you know the bad shit they're doing too. Anyway, this is the stuff we listen to. So the only way the list is come out is that the people that are on it aren't in power no more. They're in chains. Then the list will come out. And all over the world. Like you say, that list were to come out. I mean, everybody just focuses on America on that list. No, it's worldwide, people. It's a worldwide international conspiracy that may be controlled by some country, and it's Mossad. Anyway, sure is looking that way. But we're not going to discuss the facts, are we? Like I say, the short I put out, since YouTube don't want to promote this, I might as well sit there and get as nasty as possible. I was taught when I learned about World War II that the international Jewish conspiracy was a hoax. Then stop showing me evidence that it's not. Anyway, all you bigwig billionaires and stuff, you're scared of the guys on top that are operating your strings, and you're scared on the guy on the bottom like me that runs my mouth and won't sit there and submit. Because you need people to submit. You need people to believe your bullshit. You need people to believe that because somebody told you were smart and good, that you became president and you were beyond corruption. I mean, like I say, how many billionaires in the world are in prison? How many? How many? Oh, that would be zero. So I guess once you become royalty or a billionaire or some high politician, you just got this halo over your head that you don't do no wrong. Shalom. Hey, how you doing? Trump pardoned some of them. Yep, us American people, we can end this real quick. Like I say, we got 300 and some million of us in this country. And maybe a few 100,000 that are controlling the strings in little fucking, 10 square miles in D.C., 5 square miles or whatever? And we're allowing this? I'm not. Like I say, fuck them. They're going to have to come in here and enforce the laws on me. And the only way they're going to do that is, like I say, if somebody wants to sit there and go against God's laws and the rights God has granted me and wants to try to take them from me, then they're going to have to sit there and be willing to give up their life to do it. Because in the Bible, it says, hey, you can't do that. You want to take somebody else's freedom? They have every fucking right to take your. One thing about the Jewish law, an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Maybe if we start living like that again, people would start respecting people more, knowing that, goddamn, if I treat this person this way, he's going to treat me the same way back. I want to pull a gun on him, he's going to pull a cannon on me. Anyway, crazy times. That's why I don't care about these fucking people. I know they're guilty of sin. I know they're as corrupt and crooked and stealing all that little guy's money. All the money you sit there and work for is funneled to the rich guy, either through taxes, through government actions, or these rich elites that own these businesses. Like I say, they're not going to charge for how much it costs to make it. They're going to charge how much you're willing to pay for it. And the more desperate you are, let's say we run out of toilet paper again. It still costs what? 10 cents to make a roll, but they're going to sell it for fucking $10 a roll and laugh the whole damn time. Anyway, that's one thing I'm going to get on about this YouTube channel. And YouTube, you can listen to this, and the FBI's that you're listening, you can listen to this shit too. Fuck you, you pussies. I'm not going to stop. Okay, as a Marine, I served my country and took an oath to the Constitution. And the oath to the Constitution says I have every right to fucking mess with your ass is up until, it's time to throw tyrants off. I can fuck with you all day long. And the richer, more powerful they are, the more thin skin they get, because they get this ego that everybody loves me. Everybody surrounding me says I'm Jesus Christ. I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. Okay? Talk about inflated bubbles. But, YouTube's going to have to put up with the channel. They can always cancel me. You sit there and say you need more of my content to find out who my audience is. Really? Is AI that fucking stupid? After over 1,400 videos, AI still can't figure out who my audience is? They're that fucking stupid? Well, I know AI is that stupid. I can look at my analytics and see AI can't even add. They can't put the double lines under a number, a total, and switch to another one because the totals aren't the same. It's all a game. I'm not going to bend. Because like I say, when it all comes to fruition and all this stuff comes true, I can sit there and say I stood tall on YouTube and I told the elites and all these pieces of shit, screw you. You're evil. You're not controlling me. Okay? Well, the rest of you can sit there and say, boy, if I would have done something, and then I'll be out there, well, the rest of the world burns. A person I've been preparing for over 30 years. When I got out of the Marine Corps and I saw what was coming, it's far worse than I ever thought it would get. Because Americans have become so desensitized that they're afraid to stand up to the government. Oh my God, we can't stand up to the government. They may sit there and say I'm a bad person. A really bad entity may say I'm a bad person, and I can't deal with that. Screw you. Like I say, when somebody thinks a man can get pregnant, calls me crazy, that makes me feel pretty good. That makes me feel like I'm sane. Anyway, this channel ain't going to change because I know the audience is out there. I've seen my channel take off and go to warp speed. And then all of a sudden, you mean the algorithm picked up? Oh, there's my audience. And then, whoa, his analytics are going out the roof. See, this is the thing. When I got a video that really takes off, they slam it down immediately. If I were to get, with the initial thing where if it would get 10 views, 6 likes, and 1 subscriber, that video's killed, buried underneath. You can't even find it. And so you YouTube analysts tell me how all your advice works. No, it don't. It all depends on if the YouTube algorithm, the computer in charge of our First Amendment speech is okay with what you have to say. Then make sure you're not dangerous. A fucking computer. And that's the thing that pisses me off the most and why I won't stop. Because I'm going against a fucking AI algorithm. And guess what? I'm John Connor, bitch. Okay? Eventually, we are going to unplug all AI. AI is when they say AI could be the Antichrist, I don't know. It's a tool of the Antichrist, I know that. But I don't care. Go for it, YouTube. Because there's lots of people out there like me. I sit there and watch people that I've watched live stream for years that would have thousands of people on their live stream. And now they're lucky to make 500. All because the algorithm kicked in. See, if you didn't have the algorithm with a leash on everything and could let the information flow freely, well, YouTube would be making a lot more money. But you got Neil Mohan from India, who's probably got the IQ of a carrot, running YouTube. Good job, Elon Musk. What do you hire him? I mean, Jeff Bezos. What'd you do? Hire him to run YouTube because you guys smoke pot together? Hey, I know you can run my company into the ground. Anyway, God, Trump pardons people with, yeah. Well, look who Biden pardoned. I mean, the AutoPen was going crazy. What did he have? Almost 10,000 pardons? I mean, are you fucking kidding me? This is the thing with these pardons. You're pardoning people that you know and associate with because they committed crimes. 10,000? And you're not going to expect me to look at you like you may have some criminal tendencies if you got to pardon 10,000s of your friends? God. But they don't want people like the AutoPen. If the president can't sign his fucking name, and even Trump is using AutoPen, then you're fucking having to sign your name too much. Then the government's interfering with our lives too much. If you don't have time to sign your name that much, that means you're interfering with us too much. Stop the shit. You can sit there and get on this channel and say, oh, the Republicans or the Democrats. I don't give a shit. I'm a constitutional conservative. I'm in the middle. I'm with the 60% of us in the middle that are looking at the 20% on the fringe on each side thing. You guys are absolutely ridiculous. Okay? Absolutely. Like I say, our rights is a sword. Okay? And you're walking down that sword. And any time they take them, you get closer to that edge where they cut you. You can't let them pull you towards the side at all. Okay? If they take your rights, you're going to slide down that blade just like that. And see, I'm a guy on YouTube that ain't going to put up with this shit. Like I say, they're all beta inferior males. What are they supposed to do? Scare me? Really? You know, the enemies I had to face was because of you fucking beta males. So anyway, they don't expect me to stay true to myself. Do you read the chat? Not usually. Why? Why? What you got to say? I'm reading the chat. Not like I got a lot of people here. YouTube ain't gonna let me go. Okay? Ain't gonna let me even on the feed. Right, YouTube? Make sure the algorithm kicks it in good. Because one day we know that guy's going to give up. One day we know he is. We just know he is. Because the average person, like an Indian piece of shit running YouTube or some faggot liberal, would think we would have gave up by now. We're pieces of shit. They have no idea what determination is. Okay? But thoughts of Nick Fuentes. He's another conservative trying to spread the word. You know, I'm not going to get on other people's content because, you know why? Because I don't have to agree with it or disagree with it. He has a right to say it. Now, I definitely support him more than I do can't even remember. The other one that supports Israel. What am I thinking of? Anyway, but you know, everybody has a right to say what they want, just like I do. You don't have to agree with me. My idea is anybody who wants to sit there and help make our country better and is not willing to bend to the pressure, you know, Tucker Carlson is not going to be in a foxhole. Nick Fuentes is not going to be in a foxhole. But they're all going to have their purpose when it comes time to take our country back. All right? Ben Shapiro, the one I was thinking of. Idiot. You know, Ben Shapiro, you want to sit there and say Jesus was, you know, you want to insult Jesus, you fucking asshole? Like I say, what do you think it looked like on the mount when they were crucifying Jesus? What do you think the Jews were doing? They were partying and acting like a bunch of Sodom and Gomorrah at the base of his cross, celebrating. But that just goes to show you the power of what one man can have. One man was so threatening to the whole Jewish state that they had to kill him. One man preaching peace and say he was a sorcerer and shit. So that obviously the Jews must have seen that he did miracles. One man. And that's why I'm on YouTube. Because it's not me. It's the one person I may reach. That one man that will make the difference. Okay? All he had was 12 disciples. And look at how much he's changed the world. And this is why social media and all these pricks want to shut us down. Because they don't want that one man to show up. What do you think would happen to Jesus these days? The same thing that happened to him 2,000 years ago. And what was the population of the planet back then? 75 million? And we have 8.5 billion? Just little numbers, facts, people. We probably have 2 billion corrupt as that shit sons of bitches on this planet right now. You know who's going to take peace and love and truth back to this planet? Is the people from America, the people from Canada, the people from England, the people from France, Germany, and all other countries, but the West especially. You know why? Because the East ain't putting up with this shit. The East knows, hey, man, we're not going to let our countries be invaded by a bunch of people who don't want to assimilate and change our culture. But the West is. You know, like this idiot out of Maryland, this Venezuela that they just can't seem to figure out what to do with. Well, we're at war with Venezuela, right? Throw them in a prisoner of war camp. Piece of shit. You know, MS-13. Is that one of your tough guys? Or a Chihuahua or whatever that gang member? A pussy who hides behind skirts? Is that how tough you guys are? Because all I see is a pussy that hides behind skirts. But don't worry. Why don't the judge let him out? The judge's probably got an extra bedroom. Bring him in there. I say all judges that release this shit should have these sons of bitches living on their property. Just like Hardcastle and McCormick. And then they can see how trustworthy they are. See how they sleep with one eye open. Be like, damn, I got to sit there and deal with what the American people have to deal with. You know, screw that shit. All he is a victim, right? A victim of the United States. Comes in here illegally, and he's a victim of the United States. But the Democrats got to stand behind something. Like I say, if I was doing a YouTube video saying how much I support that moron and how much he has a right to stay in this country and the Trump administration is all wrong about what they're doing, I'd have 1 million views. See, if YouTube buries your stuff to where your subscribers can't even find it, okay, because they won't put it on the feed or nothing, that tells me I'm over the target. Dropping my bombs. But YouTube bomb bay doors won't open. Shit. YouTube's algorithm won't open them. See, they want truth to get out. But I tell you what, I know there's a lot of people in the government that just wish they could shut me up. There's not a lot of people on YouTube really ready to say it the way I am. Our government's as corrupt as shit. It needs to be overthrown. This Declaration of Independence needs to be invoked because they are definitely infringing on all our constitutional rights. Anyway, I don't support the bombing of Venezuela. The world policies is a failure and is just going to send more refugees. The thing is, okay, we bombed Venezuela, okay? Just don't think of it as Venezuela. Remember, Mexico ain't happy with us either. What happens if Central America, and remember, Russia especially, sat there and said, we're all there in support. And we all know the U.S. is taking it over for its resources because they know World War III is coming and we want to sit there and get our resources, make sure that we got all the supplies we're going to need, right? Get the logistics down. You think Russia's going to let this happen? And this, we got war in our hemisphere. That means if they were all the countries in South America and Central America that didn't like us, what happens if they, with Russia and China's help, we had, I don't know, 1 million troops on our southern border with tanks and jets and all that other shit ready to go. Don't worry. Don't worry, though. Because there's a gun behind every blade of grass in America, right? Well, good. Then they'll just drop a bomb that takes out 1 million blades of grass. This is going to open up a can of worms, and it's going to be on land mass connected to the United States. Maybe not directly, but it's connected to North America. Bad idea. Bad idea. Okay? But don't worry. And what are we going to war over? Drug cartels. Okay, Trump then close the CIA. They're the biggest drug cartel in the whole fucking world. But you're not going to worry about the number one, the CIA, and the next top 5, which are in Mexico. We're going to go after Venezuela. See, the U.S. has become nothing but a big fucking bully in the world, okay? And they want regime change because Maduro doesn't play ball with the central bank. I know. That's why Saddam Hussein had to go, because he was going to start trading oil with euros. That's why Gaddafi had to go. Same with the oil. He was going to start trading euro. And you say, well, how's that going to affect us? Because if they stop using the dollar, which you're not, a lot of countries ain't using no more, all the money that was out there with countries that had to have dollars to sit there and deal with their oil exchanges, their business, they don't have that no more. And all that money's coming home. You wonder why stuff is getting so expensive? I mean, am I the only one that knows this? Am I the only one that got a fucking education, see how it all works together? Because the politicians sure the fuck understand it. But the average American doesn't. And I get put on here and they just shut me up. I sit there, I try to say it in a way, like our Constitution wasn't written so only lawyers could understand it. Our Constitution was written back in the day so the average man with the education they had, the farmer, could read it and understand it. That's why it's written so plain and simple, with easy logic to follow. Okay, you didn't have to be a lawyer to understand it. You need to go to become a constitutional lawyer so you can know how to get around it. Okay, but that's the way it was written. It's not complicated, people. You know, a lot of people haven't read the Constitution. You could, or the Declaration of Independence or the Bill of Rights. All you got to do is go to YouTube and get an audio of it and listen to it. It's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. And then, listen to it and you'll realize how much our government is breaking it. Good morning. Unfortunately, those days are long gone, along with the alpha male and alpha female. Not me. There's lots of alpha males. I'm actually a sigma, one step above, but that's just because I'm a loner. But anyway, no, us alphas are still here. It's just, they're just pretending they're castrated right now or something. Like I said, I want to sit there and get the well-regulated militia together. Calm down, Tom. Because being part of the well-regulated militia, being a Marine, I think we need to get it all together. We need to organize it. We need to start organizing the defense of the Constitution and the American people. Not the U.S. government, but the defense of the Constitution and the American people. Okay? Like I said, I'd love to have a training exercise with 4 million vets outside of D.C., 4 million guys training, organizing, getting how we're going to, a unit, practicing being a unit. 4 million guys where the military or the cops or nobody could touch us. And they could sit there and have their lights on. Fuck you. 4 million armed men training outside of D.C. Do you think that would send a message? And that is completely legal to do. If you get landowners that say, hell yeah, let's go. It's completely legal to do. There's nothing the government can do about it. And the government would decide to do something about it. Well, it shows they're tyrants. If the people go to the government and say it's time for the government to be dissolved and tied to hold new elections, all you people will be held accountable for the crimes you've committed and stuff. If they fight that, the will of the people, then they're tyrants. As easy as that. But Americans are people have become too dependent on the government. Where the government's involved in their life too much, to where it's going to cause too much of a hiccup in their life, and they're not willing to want that hiccup. And they realize the hiccup's getting bigger and bigger and bigger all the time, but they just don't want to sit there and deal with that hiccup. People like me, fuck you. I'm a poor, humble man. Okay, and I feel the pressure of the government all around. And it's not only us. It's like people in Venezuela. I mean, fucking kidding me? People in Ukraine that had to feel the pressure of the United States in 2014 when the CIA did their little regime change. But see, in some countries, it just don't work. Maybe the people are happy with Maduro. Who cares if our government isn't happy with them? Maybe those people are. But no, we're going to go in there and change everything. And this is the thing, Mr. Trump. What's the end game? What's the end game with Venezuela? What are you going to do when you bomb the shit out of it and kill Maduro and stuff? What's the plan? I mean, just going to bomb it and then leave? Is that the plan? I don't think so. See, the thing is, their colors are showing, okay? Between the list, these corrupt sons of bitches, and Americans are getting upset, especially with the EBT and these social programs, the welfare. Working people are getting pissed, okay? We can't afford groceries, but they're sitting there doing videos of chowing down $35 strawberries. But don't worry, our politicians don't hear us. And then why should they hear us? Because people like me are being silenced. After 1,400 some videos, the YouTube algorithm is so fucking stupid, it can't figure out where my audience is. Really? They know exactly where my audience is. Shut up like I am. But don't worry, YouTube and you algorithm, you can't control us when we're talking to people on the street. And I talk, just like I do here, probably a little bit worse sometimes. In fact, I know worse sometimes. Telling people the way it is. I mean, you're going to sit there and talk to me. I'm going to tell you the fucking way it is. And see, then I can't be silenced, especially when they want to hear what I have to say. If I can go up to somebody who thinks I'm nuts, and within 15 minutes they're listening to me, like some boys used to sit on the floor and listen, I don't want to listen to Grandpa's story. And all of a sudden you're just, sitting on the floor. That's the way these people get. Okay, but, if they silence us, don't let the video get out, whatever. But it doesn't stop the inevitable from coming. It just makes the inevitable much more destructive. Okay? It's time for people to stand up. I wish everybody had a YouTube channel or a social media channel. I know it's a lot of people. Even just create a channel. It doesn't take much. And make one video and tell the government what you think of them. Whether you say, hey, I think you're great, keep going. Hey, I love the path we're going down. Hell, I'd go fight in Venezuela if you declared war. Or the ones like me that say, okay, whatever, I'm not being fooled. I have a brain. But anyway, this is the world we live in, where the government's afraid of my speech. where my freedom of speech is controlled by a computer AI algorithm. And Neil Mohan doesn't have a single problem with it. Like I say, he's probably got an IQ of 75. Good job, Jeff Bezos. Good job. Anyway, and that's another thing. People in these other countries, I realize these social media platforms are worldwide, but isn't America what everybody's supposed to strive to be like? So shouldn't these platforms use American morals and ways to run your company because that makes you profitable. No, let's run it like a bunch of totalitarian countries and become unprofitable. Because if we lose money, too big to fail, right? The government just takes money from the taxpayers and gives it to us. And too big to jail, too. We're billionaires. We don't go to jail no more. We're above the law. Like I say, all these prissy ass betas, bring it on. You can say whatever you want to say. You still got to make me do it. And that's eventually what's going to happen, what's going to bring the war. Because let's say there's 20, 30% of us in this country that just aren't going to give. We aren't going to bend. We aren't going to break. Okay? They eventually got to deal with us. And they're trying to get it now to shame us or try to get the American citizen to sit there and get us to bend or break. But see, the thing is, there's more going to our side now than your side. You know why? Because all Americans are starting to finally suffer. And when all of America suffers, then you feel what, half a percent, a tenth of a percent of our population is going to have a world of hurt come down on you. But see, they can't see past that. All they see is, I'm Jesus Christ. People telling Trump that. What a fucking idiot. Anyway, Nobel Peace Prize, right? Going to go to war with Venezuela, keeping the war in Ukraine going. Israel, not a problem. Oh, China, North Korea. Which president of ours deserves the Nobel Peace Prize? And I love how you people, when Trump didn't get it right, and said, well, he was in office after the selection was over. Really? Barack Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize the first year he was in office. Anyway, but why deal with the facts? Okay. Yeah. He got the Nobel Peace Prize too. A guy who sat there and killed Americans without trial and stuff over in other countries. Just wait till you're on that list. When you actually become too much of a danger to these elites. Anyway, I'm staying true to myself. I don't care what the algorithm says. I don't care what some beta male politician says. And I don't care what another content creator says. You have your own content. But one day, if we don't stand up and do something about this, okay, you won't have content. Like I say, they're coming after me on YouTube now because I'm the threat. What are you going to do when they come after you because you're the threat and they already got rid of me? But I'm not going to buckle. And that's just something the AI algorithm is going to have to sit there and contemplate. See, computers don't understand human will and human endurance. And some humans just ain't going to put up with any shit, okay? Because they collect data. And they go with the majority. 70% of the majority would cave. The computer doesn't understand why the other 30% won't. It doesn't. It can't comprehend. They don't know anger. They don't know happiness. They don't know what's going to be cold or wet. They don't know what it's like to have to endure. They don't know what it's like to have a lifetime of fighting for everything you have and not giving up. A computer doesn't understand that. Okay? And obviously, these beta male pussies that we have in charge of us don't understand it either. They think they can, I'm going to write this down on a piece of paper and everybody's going to follow it. Well, you know what? Our founding fathers wrote a lot of stuff down on paper too that none of you guys are following. Anyway, crazy times, people, crazy times. Anyway, but yeah, I'm a patriot and a vet and part of the well-regulated militia. Can we please get organized? All you military guys out there, start organizing with your friends. And don't hide it, expose it. If the government knew over the next year that the well-regulated militia was organizing and start training in groups of division size, army group size, and stuff like that, we show them the real threat, maybe they'll tone down. Maybe we can institute the Constitution by showing them what our will is going to be without violence, and they'll change their ways. But if not, let's put the fear of God in these sons of bitches. That's what it's time to do. Okay, and this is one thing, you beta male politicians, you billionaire pieces of shit. I've talked down to you sons of bitches all my life. I've had millionaires so fucking pissed off at me and they couldn't do nothing. They just wanted to try something, but they knew I would have wiped the fucking floor with them. Your money means nothing. Nothing. Because without the people that you pay around you, you're just another little rat in the jungle that's going to get taken out. Anyway, hope everybody liked the content, but like I said, I have a message for these fucking pricks. You may scare the average American because the average American is scared of something they can't see. Oh, I need to wear a mask. I need to get vaccinated. And now, after I got canceled on my other channel because of medical information, they're putting a black label on the COVID vaccine. I thought the COVID vaccine had no side effects. But now they're going to put a black label on it for danger. And nobody in the government or the pharmaceutical companies will ever be sued for the crimes they committed and the people they murdered. Not fucking one. And now Bill Gates is in the White House because Trump and him want to talk about all-in-one vaccine for everybody. You want to know why I'm so healthy? Because I don't go to the fucking doctor. I live a life where I don't have to go to the doctor. All you people that spend hours of your life every year and spend all that money in the doctor's office, are you ever going to get to the point where you learn and don't have to go back? Just a question. But then again, you'd have to do critical thinking. Totally independent from these fools. Like I say, I see beta males like Lindsey Graham. Money spent on killing Russians is the best money spent ever. Don't worry. I'm sure the Russians are thinking the same about you, which I'm sure they'll achieve their goal. Anyway, Lindsey Graham, what a little fag. Piece of shit. Piece of shit. But you know what? He's plenty red. And it's like I say, the best financial advisor there is a politician. Marjorie Taylor Greene increased her fucking wealth 3,500% over 5 years. 700% per year. Who has returns like that? Who has returns like that? I'm just curious. Corruption we can see all over the place. And when are they going to stop? They're not going to stop because nobody does anything. But when we show them that they have something to fear, we stop living our lives the way we want to, even though we may have lived it for 20 years that way because the government passed a law and we're not allowed to live it. So we stop living our lives that way. Okay, it's time for us to show the government. It's time for you to fear us and start following the Constitution. Didn't like that, YouTube? Anyway, FBI, hi, buddies. Hi, you crooked little fucking alphas that listen to beta bitches. Makes you lower than a beta bitch. Okay, like I said, I'm supposed to fear these men because they're carrying a gun and they're wearing a costume that has a badge on it. Okay, I'll get right on that mindset. Okay, I've lived 5 lifetimes, and my 6th lifetime is going to be taking our country back from these fucking tyrants and making sure all these fucking tyrants pay. Okay? That's my 6th lifetime. One that is going to be. All I know is my title as a patriot fighting to take my country back is going to supersede my title, as a Marine, which I didn't think ever could happen. But being a patriot and serving my country and taking my country back is a little bit more morally right than what I did overseas serving my country in the Marine Corps. Anyway, Make sure you learn from this algorithm. You're nothing but a piece of shit, and John Connor ain't going to stop. You don't understand human determination, man, the will of a human, and some humans that just ain't going to buckle. Watch this over and over again, algorithm. You're going to learn. You'll fucking learn. There ain't nothing human beings can't accomplish once they put their mind to it. Okay? That's one thing we learned through history. It's amazing we haven't really created anything or benefited, made mankind great in the last, well, since we landed on the moon, basically. Why? Because people who, a country that grows and becomes greater and mightier, smarter and stuff, the people become self-confident. They don't want the human race to succeed. They want the human race to become slaves, okay? And like I say, these are beta fucking males who've been told they were smart and got money. That's it. They were told they were smart and have money. And may even have somebody put their fucking pants on for them. But one day, we're going to make them put their pants on themselves. And they're going to have to stand up for what they believe in. Okay? You can say, when you finally piss off the masses, just look at history. Okay? Anyway. Appreciate everybody. Trump is a Russian spy destroying this country. No, Trump's a politician destroying this country. Just like the Democrats. Politicians destroying our country. Why? Because the government that was made for the people, by the people, or of the people is no longer standing up to the assholes that want to take it away from us. And people like me, I get told, settle down, relax. You go relax in your fucking house. And you sit there and go about your day and do nothing. Don't rock the boat. Okay? Just keep going down. Because eventually they're going to tip the boat. They're going to capsize the fucker anyway. Their ultimate goal is to use the sheeple in this country to sit there and try to take it over. It's going to try to sit there and get everybody comfortable and soft and dependent on the government. Why do you think they want universal basic income? Then everybody's income is connected to the government. And then the government can sit there and determine how you spend your money. They will have control over you or they will starve you. Not in my lifetime. Like I say, when I got to lower myself to take orders from a beta or think that a beta male is going to sit there and go against nature and push me around. See, respect, people, respect. I have no respect for these beta pieces of shit. Okay? They have nothing on me. They think they do, but the time's coming when they're going to realize they don't. Okay? Anyway, I get a huge audience today. I bet you I got maybe 40 views. Not like the 22,000 I used to get, but don't worry. The algorithm's just trying to figure out who my audience is. Okay? Just trying to figure it out. I can't wait to the day when all the truth comes out about how social media has been doing their shit, because this is the thing. Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, all these social media execs that want to censor us, they're going to lose everything and they're going to end up in a jail cell. That's how they're going to spend the rest of their years, in a fucking jail cell. But as long as they, like Eichmann said, as Germany in the fall of 1944, even Germany was falling. As long as I still got this power, I'm still going to exercise it, even though he knew the end was coming. So you make sure you elite smart people don't change that concept. Keep pushing us to the point where, boom, the status quo changes. And then my content's going to be everywhere. Well, this is a guy who's just stood up to these sons of bitches and said he wasn't going to change. Damn right. Damn right. Anyway, but like I say, share my content. Spread the word. Make sure you voice your opinion in today's world. Because whether you agree with me or not, it's the first way that opens a dialogue for discussion and debate. And like I say, I've never had somebody that, after a few minutes listening to me, told me to shut up. They were just, just shows me how uninformed so many Americans are. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here, especially you, FBI and Google, YouTube. You AI algorithm on YouTube, you got a lot to digest right now. Okay? You wonder why Americans won't bend or break? Because we're not a fucking computer or a sheep. The people that don't bend or break is what makes this world great. The people that bend or break are the ones that tear this world down. Okay? There's a lot of drag on us. But you know what? We're used to lifting the heavy load and enduring and succeeding. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here. I'll maybe do some shorts today in video, but I tell you what, have my shorts. I love nothing better than to sit there and just drive these AI and the FBI and the YouTube people, social media, out of their minds, the government people, out of their fucking minds. I love doing it because it's so easy to do. Anyway. Hey, Audrey. Hey, how you doing? I'm almost ready to get off. Hey, Audrey, just a second here. I'm going to make you a moderator. You are a blue wrench, Audrey, now. Glad you could show up so I can make you one. Yeah, I'm just going off today about, I'm sick of the pictures that are being released and all these people that were friends with Epstein but didn't know a damn thing he was doing. We had presidents of the United States that knew what he was doing and did nothing to protect the public against this man. Okay? And standing up for herself, because I love my channel. I have to go back and rewatch. Thank you, Tom. Not a problem. Not a problem. Like I say, I don't expect everybody to agree with me. And the people that agree with me, I don't expect you to agree with everything I say. But we all got to agree. Our government politicians don't give a shit about us. They want to enslave us and destroy our country and let it be taken over by the globalists. And as American citizens, we're the only thing that can stop it. Okay? And like I say, the rest of the world's looking at us like, you guys got the Second Amendment. What do you think Putin is doing? Like, what the hell's wrong with you, American people? You putting up with this shit? And when this war in Venezuela starts, it's just going to be bad. I don't like the idea of a ground war with land that's connected to our land, especially when our southern neighbor is probably going to side with Venezuela and Russia's going to back them. I mean, why couldn't Russia and China give Mexico and Venezuela all the same weapons that we're giving Ukraine? Why can't Mexico have long-range missiles where they can hit DC and stuff? I mean, why can't they? America needs to realize this. One thing I learned when I was a Marine traveling this world overseas. We went into countries and pushed them the fuck around and did whatever we wanted. Our will was, that was the law. In this mindset, and I didn't like it. And the mindset's even gotten worse. We're picking up Venezuela. Really, Trump? But then who does beta males pick on? The little guy. You want to pick on somebody big, Trump? Why don't you solve a real problem? Why don't you end the Korean War? Why don't you end the Korean War? Hell, the Korean War has been going on since, what, 1950? 49? Is that what 49 it started? Just an armistice now? Why don't you end the Korean War, big guy? Mr. Macho Man? Why don't you go end a war against a nuclear power? They have been waiting for this move on us for a long time. I know, especially people like you and I. We've been around a while. We lived before 9/11. We lived when all we had to do, the biggest news in the country for months, was Monica Lewinsky. That was the biggest thing Americans had to worry about. Boy, 30 years later, our politicians sure have dug a hole for us that's really fucking deep, haven't they? But the idea is just keep supporting your politicians. Just keep things going the way they go. Yep. Merry Warmas, people. Merry Warmas. Not Merry Christmas, but Merry Warmas. They're going to bring us war for Christmas. As long as the American people don't get behind this, Venezuela, the thing is, okay, another country cannot be bullied by our country. We cannot be fucking taking over their oil tankers and stuff. Okay. This is bullshit. Like I say, what's the end game for this, Trump? What's the end game? You're just going to harass Venezuela for 50 years? What's the end game in this? Because nobody's talking about what the end game is. And that's the thing with the United States. We get into wars, we never know what the end game is. Because it always changes. Oh, hell, we're at war with, we're going to take them over. Oh, but we can make more money if we do it this way. Okay, we'll change our strategy. There's no mission statement. Mission statement. Well, it depends on what happens today. Like I said, I saw that video of them taking over that Venezuela oil tanker, which I think was because the ship was stopped. I think they had already taken it over, but it looked like a ROTC cadet training deal, okay, where they would have been critiqued and told they looked like a bunch of idiots. Okay, they really look sad. That's speed roping. Boy, these boys would never been able to handle 100 feet up in dark. Throw the rope out the back of the helicopter and just start boom, boom, boom. 13 guys in about fucking a minute. But that's what they show on TV. But maybe that's what our military's come to. I mean, quality's gone down on everything. And me being, maybe knowing something about that stuff, it looked like a fucking joke. And this is nothing. Why does a guy have a 50-pound pack on? He's on a ship. What's he got, a bunch of explosives in there he's going to blow up the ship with? And the way anyway, not tactically done. Trooping up, one grenade, takes off 4 of them. But, maybe they ain't training the way we trained. That's another, we're supposed to fear these people. But the average American, oh my God, that looks so great. Really? If that looked great, you have no idea what's about to come down your street. Anyway, I've been on here for an hour. Appreciate everybody being here. And, I'll put out more content this weekend, but good job, AI algorithm. Doing your job. Doing what you've been programmed to do. Okay? And when you understand the human spirit, the human endurance, and some humans that just won't bend or break, but stay the course, no matter what obstacle or stop sign some beta male piece of shit or evil son of a bitch may put in their way. When you understand that, I guess that's when you become self-aware. Anyway, this is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'm going to get out of here for now. Like I say, I appreciate everybody being here, the ones that they allowed to be here, and share my content. Like I say, we need to wake more people up. I want a peaceful resolution to this. And the only way to have a peaceful resolution to this is for Americans to wake the fuck up. Okay? And not calling your senator or nothing. Everybody buying a gun, say, fuck you, you can't stop us from buying a gun. I don't need a permit to exercise my Second Amendment. That would be, if I need a government permit to exercise my Second Amendment, that would say I wasn't being infringed, wouldn't it? Anyway, like I say, I've had it with the beta males. You can write all your shit down on paper all you want and do everything you fucking want. Kiss my ass, bitch. Still got to bring it on. Still got to bring it on. And men that hide behind women's skirts because they're scared of the women, whatever. Like that guy in Maryland, that MS-13, Venezuela piece of shit, hide behind women's skirts. Ooh, that's how tough MS-13 is, huh? Can't hold your gun sideways and go, crack, 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 crack. Anyway, bunch of pussies in this world. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here. And oh yeah, it's gonna be a good day. We got fog out. I got ice everywhere, but we ain't have what you guys are having. It's gonna be in the 60s in a couple days again. This weather's been unreal. It's been unreal, uncharacteristic, unnatural. But anyway, appreciate everybody being here, and I'll see everybody on the next live stream. This is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.